Please be aware this is my personal opinion, and to expect full spoilers for the topic ahead. Fun and fancy-free. Wow, an anthology movie that isn't Fantasia that I actually enjoyed watching? Just goes to show this format can hold my attention, but to be real, this movie only has 2 segments. That's not much of an anthology, but the stories only benefit from having more time spent on them, and they're far more memorable because of that. True to its name, this is a fun and simple film. The first part's focused on a bear named Bongo, who escapes the circus to live in the wild. It's a cute story, and fairly endearing thanks to just how expressive Bongo is. Watching him learn about the world and love surprisingly holds your attention. This animation's got a lot of energy to it, and so much that happens is presented in a visually creative way. Shout out to just how beautiful and cozy these settings are. While this cartoon can easily be compared to the nonsense segments of other Disney anthologies, this one has a good sense of humor, and a likable lead who's easy to root for. Of the 2 segments, this was by far my favorite, but the second one's solid. A Disney take on Jack and the Beanstalk. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy make up the main cast, so most will be familiar with their personalities from the get-go. I genuinely adore the scene where they're divvying up food. Comedic gold? Just look at them sweating in anticipation. And Crazy Donald's always a treat. He's at his best during these scenes. The tale plays out in the usual way, but with a nice sense of fantasy to it. The beanstalk growing scene's a particularly whimsical sequence. The castle portion's alright. Willie the Giant's just not very compelling, but he plays the role well enough. His ability to transform's an odd choice since he doesn't really do anything with it. It all wraps up a bit quickly, and while I would have liked to see more of the aftermath, it's nice to see this story told with these characters. Neither of these cartoons struggle to draw me in. They take their time telling their stories, which makes it easier to get invested in what's going on. Compared to most of the other anthology movies, this one's far less focused on music, but what it does have is pretty good for the time. It still has that old-fashioned droning style, but when sung by a nice voice, it can be rather lovely. As for the framing of this film, Jiminy Cricket introduces the first story. He's just kind of there for some reason. The story itself isn't even narrated by him, instead told by Dinah Shore. The second story's narrated by Edgar Bergen, a famous ventriloquist of the time, telling it to a little girl, in his House of Horrors. Presenting the film this way is pretty random, but I can't deny the dummies leave an impression, whether you want them to or not. I guess that's about everything for this one. Fun and fancy-free is not much of a movie, but it works better than you'd think, and while I'm not usually a fan of constant narration, it does help keep everything focused. While it's nowhere near as impressive as something like Bambi or Fantasia, it's more comfortably paced, and overall easier to watch. This film proves to me, along with Fantasia, that some of Disney's anthologies are still worth checking out today. It's easy to have a good time with this one, thanks to attractive animation and a nice sense of humor. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, consider becoming a member of the channel to access various perks and support me and my videos. And feel free to let me know in the comments any movies or shows you'd be interested to hear my thoughts on. Next month, I'll be reviewing Disney's Melody Time. Until then, be well everyone, and I'll see you next time.